Next up in the Learning Lounge, customer care and retention. Know what your customers want before they do. From Argo Marketing Group, here's Jason Levesque.
Okay, good morning. How are we doing today? We've got 15 minutes. Hold on, I'm going to get my timer ready here, if it works. What we want to talk about today is customer service. Most of us in the direct response space have customer service operations. Problem that we've seen over the course of the last 10 years, and give you a little background in Argo Marketing Group, we've been around for 10 years managing customer service activities on behalf of direct response marketers. Currently, we operate and own a 330-seat operation in Maine, actually spread out between 3 different facilities. Our specialty is customer care. So we've taken customer service and we've moved it to the next level, which we think is important in today's post-recession economy. And I do hope it's a post-recession economy. It's about lifetime value. It's about brand loyalty. It's about servicing customers and keeping them around in order to maximize your lifetime value. Now, what we have to do is we have to understand what our customers really want. We do a really good job in this industry of understanding why our customers are calling or going online and placing an order, acquisition. But do we really understand what happens after or post-acquisition? If you look at your customer service operations currently, you should have a disposition report. Every customer call should have a dispositioned outcome. And those outcomes are pretty consistent amongst all your callers. So we have some luxuries here. First of all, we have the luxury of having an agent or a call center handling thousands of calls on your behalf. Your customer might only make 1 or 2 calls. So we have a statistically relevant sample size to go from. Now here's a couple examples of dispositions. Where's my package? My product is broken. I want to cancel my membership. What does this charge on my credit card? There's probably a dozen more and they're all specific in what you're selling. The first thing to do is understand what the most predominant dispositions for your callers are. That's going to help you understand what they're looking for before your agents even answer the phone. Once you know what the customer is looking for or why they're calling, then you can identify, and you do this before, okay, when you're setting up your campaign, what the ideal outcome is. Now, we have an ideal outcome, but you got to remember, your customer has their concept of what an ideal outcome is. What we have to do is we have to make sure the customer realizes what their ideal outcome should be. And that goes back to why they order the product. Do they order a weight loss supplement in order to lose weight? Of course they did. They didn't want to buy a bottle or a box of supplements because they wanted a bottle or a box of supplements sitting in their bathroom counter. Now that's not what they wanted. They wanted a goal. So we have to identify the outcomes that we want the customer to actually acknowledge. We want to have 3. Ideal outcome or your primary outcome, the secondary outcome, and your last ditch or less approved outcome. Once we understand what those outcomes are, we can actually start having effective customer service. Now there's several different ways of gauging success. We can look at customer service as a loss center, as a cost center. At that point, we take the customer service call. We want to make it as short as possible because we're paying a fixed cost per call or a per minute rate, and we want to spend as little money as possible on our customers after we acquire them. Or what we advocate for is really basing customer service on lifetime value. And how do we empower our agents and our third-party vendors in order to achieve lifetime value optimization at the customer service level, basically liberating them. Because you want to reach an ideal outcome for both your customer and you. Now, in order to get that very holistic type of approach with customer service and focus on lifetime value, we've got to start looking at how do we get there. We've identified a customer and why they called. We understand what their ideal outcomes are because we understand our product. But we have to give the tools to our customer service agents in order to have that ideal outcome become a reality. Basically, it's about empowerment. You got to understand the need and remind the customers for that product or service that they ordered initially. Constant reinforcement, constant training of your agents. I mean, would you ever go to an inbound call center and say, here's a telemarketing script, read it, talk to you in 6 months? No, you wouldn't. You'd monitor the calls. You'd have your trainers there, or you'd train the trainer at the third-party center and make sure that it's constantly fresh and constantly evolving. Role-playing, because you have to remember there's 3 different ways people learn: audio, visual, and kinesthetic. Role-playing achieves that kinesthetic aspect of learning. Have them do it over and over and over. Someone told me that it doesn't become a habit unless you do it 20 times. I absolutely think that's the truth in call center work. Calibration calls with inbound call centers. Ask yourself, is it beneficial for your customer service agents to listen to inbound calls and understand why customers are calling in the first place? What are they looking for? What do they want? That way you can tie that back in on that post-acquisition call. And then again, empowerment. Give your agents, give your employees parameters, but let them go and achieve your mission, your joint mission, on their own way, as long as they're standardized, as long as it's approved. But let them feel that they're powerful and not a robot. Don't treat them as such, and they won't treat your customers as such either. Data, knowledge equals wisdom. This is something that we believe in firmly. You can have data points, dispositions, how many calls are coming in, talk time, average speed of answer, key performance metrics to, just to choke a horse. And that's great. Data is important. But you also have to apply knowledge to that data. That means you have to get in the trenches. You have to understand what your customers are saying, do outbound surveys, spend the money to do order confirmation calls, look at training, look at making sure there's team building that's going on. Get the knowledge, and when you have data and when you put it together with knowledge, it's going to equal wisdom. That wisdom is going to allow you to actually go forth and have a good, viable, and ever-growing lifetime value. Now, in order to get data and knowledge, there's 2 things. Technical phase and a discovery phase. A technical phase is notes, data. There's some third-party companies out there that are actually feeding you data on your specific customer right when they're calling, basically a data dip via the phone number with a high degree of success to let you understand what this customer is like. Do they have a high propensity to return products ordered? Do they like to order magazines? Do they have multiple credit cards? What's their demographic data? Everything put together that's going to help you customize your approach to that customer. Then there's also the most common, and I call it the historically valid approach, which is a traditional discovery phase. You want to ask questions. You want to engage them. You want to ask why they ordered in the first place. What are the results? How have they been using the service or the product? And really understand what their issues are. This ties in, and probably the best way that I've found for discovery is 3 words: feel, felt, found. When you're talking to a customer, understand what they're saying. If they have a problem, and frankly, let's be honest, how many people that are happy with our products and services call us up to say, we're really happy? They don't, okay? It's only people that have problems. So we have to understand what those problems are. I'll give you an example. Sir, I understand how you feel. Some of my customers have felt the same way. But what they have found out is that by trying it for a little bit longer, and we can extend your guarantee period, you're going to see good results. And if you don't, it's okay. Call us back. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. And we'll solve your problems then. Okay? But really, why did you call? Go back. Control the conversation. But don't let them feel like they're alone. Let them understand that they're part of a bigger group. And then that group has actually found solutions. And we're here to help facilitate that. Controlling the call. Controlling the call. I always look at a call as someone going down the interstate. There's a lot of different exits. There's some breakdown lanes, some guardrails, some pitfalls, and I live in Maine, there's usually deer and moose. Okay, we don't want to hit the deer and moose, but we don't want to let the customer get off at an exit that we don't choose. We want to control that call. We want to make sure that we're the subject matter expert, that we're giving viable solutions, and the customer appreciates them, and they're going forward, okay? So control the call. Now, how to build a house of profit. This is something at a staff meeting, we were talking about this, and someone brought up extreme makeover, home improvement with a Thai guy. Okay, pretty cool. You get 200 people in a room, give them a truckload of tools, and in like 38 hours or something, they're building a house. I'd like to see that happen in my neighborhood. But in reality, if I dropped off a big box of tools in front of a call center of 100 customer service agents and say, hey, go build a house, they're not going to build a house. So I get smart, and I hire a great trainer, and he comes in, he teaches everybody how to use a circular saw, how to use a drill press and a hammer and nails and so forth. That's great. They still can't build a house. Okay? You have to show them. You have to lead by example. Have leadership traits. Show them how to build the house. Show them how to build the components of the house. And then they will be able to do it again on their own. We need to build a house of profitability, building loyalty, increasing lifetime value, maintaining positive brand ID, and start generating a culture of caring. That's how we're going to be successful, I believe, in this industry as a whole and in each individual products or services that you're offering as a marketer. And then my favorite president, Ronald Reagan, had a great quote talking about Gorbachev and the Soviet Union called trust but verify. Something we say a lot. Trust, empower, but verify the outcome. Verify the tasks. Verify that they're doing the job that we need to be done. Okay? That is the only way that we can have consistency. Sad truth is, call centers turn over at an extremely large rate. You know, every 12 months, fundamentally, you're going to have a 50% turnover in your staff or your third-party staff. So you have to trust but verify constantly, constant training, repetition, and consistency over and over and over. That's why I say it over and over and over again. That's my presentation right now, and I think we're running at, we got about 1:30 left. Now, we could go on for hours on this topic, and I've gone on for 10 years on this topic, but trying to give you a brief overview of stuff that you should look for at a high level. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anybody have any questions about customer care, identifying and knowing what your customers want before they do, and then servicing? Come on, I can't be that good. I mean, Erin's in the audience. She'll tell you I'm not that good. No? Well, good. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being in front of you today. Okay, and have a great rest of the show. And if you want to stop by and talk more, I'm at booth 416 on this side. Okay? Thank you very much.